Hello, friends. How are you? How's today? How's life? How's things? Please let me know in the comments. I love hearing from you. Today's going to be one of those unhinged videos where I just talk off the cuff with no real thought behind what I'm saying. And, I mean, you get it. You're here for it. Whatever. You keep coming back. I keep doing these. Whatever. I watched I watched a stream today. I participated in a live stream today where the person was trying to make a point about I guess maybe ego was his point, but I took it in a different direction. And his point was he's a musician. He plays in just various gigs. He doesn't have a band. He just gets called, I need you to do this, whatever. He just plays for whoever calls him that day. And he gets calls every day, right? So he's playing like 5-6 days a week. And he talked about that guy, right? Like, and I don't know because I've never played like on a stage before with other musicians, but he talked about, but I got what he was talking about. He was talking about when the person shows up to a tiny venue, like, a corner of a restaurant stage where there's 4 people sharing the stage, and this person shows up with like all the gear in the world, just like an overwhelm. He was particularly talking about a drummer showing up just with loads and loads of gear. And he was like, that's just ego. Like, he's like, that his point was that these drums are not serving the song. These drums are not serving the audience. These drums are there. This gear was there just to serve the drummer, just to make the drummer feel better or feel more important or whatever. And I get what he's saying. Like, I think there's that kind of person in pretty much all industries. The person who shows up with the things and kind of, I don't know, it's a flex of some sort that maybe isn't necessary for the, like, read the room. Like, this isn't the space for that. But on the flip side, I try to look at things through other people's eyes as much as I possibly can in situations like this, because there is another argument or another way of looking at this, which is the method or the thought process of maybe this drummer knows more than he can do. And I don't know this person. I'm just speculating. But I think there's some crossover in the idea of knowing more than you can do. This ties into a conversation that I listened to yesterday, a podcast about, kind of the curse of YouTube being that everybody knows everything, but nobody can do anything. They were talking about musicians or they were talking about teaching, like specifically teaching musicians or teaching new musicians who show up and already know all this stuff. But they have no app. They can't apply it. Like, they can't play the things that they know. But they've watched all these videos and they know all these things. And I think it's maybe the same process, right? There's a, and I'm guilty of it as well. Like a sort of sickness or a pride for having knowledge. I've definitely been proud of my knowledge, and I carry that. And my family is irritated with me when I tell them something, for the whatever. I go way too far in explaining something that didn't need an explanation, because I get excited, like, oh, I know the thing, I could get to use my knowledge now. And I'm definitely the person that will, I can't play my bass all day every day, so I'll watch a lot of videos and I pick up very little. But I will say, I can, not that I pick up a lot, but I can't apply it because I don't have it yet. But I will say that through a lot of that knowledge gathering, there have been these days where in the moment I'm learning a song, suddenly I hear somebody say something over here and I go, oh, I can apply that. And suddenly I've unlocked a new ability or whatever. But I think they're kind of, so this musician or this drummer showing up with way too much gear for the gig, and this person showing up with way too information for their skill level is kind of the same thing, right? Is it a comfort zone? Is it like, for instance, to use a fishing term, there's a lot of fishermen who, I don't want to say no because that sounds condescending. I've heard, and I've been one of those fishermen that tells you that bait catches fishermen. And that's true. Like, the idea that all of this, you go in the next time you go to your Walmart, go to the fishing aisle and just look at the nonsense that's there. That nonsense is not catching fish. That's catching fishermen. It's catching your eye, and you're thinking, oh, well, if I buy this particular color and I use it when the water temperature is this and the noon and whatever, and you could try to put all this crap together, and sure, you might catch a fish that day, but I might show up with the same bait I always use because I know the area, and catch just as many fish. And I didn't have to go through, because I applied knowledge. I went and did the thing instead of gathering all of this tool set, this knowledge, or literally a whole massive drum set, and then figuring out how to use it. I figured out what I needed first and then applied that knowledge, or applied that lack of knowledge to my learning. And so the question is, from these conversations, for both of these conversations, is it a bad thing? Is it a bad thing to compensate? Meaning, acquiring knowledge to make up for lack of skill, is that a bad thing? Because I don't think it is. I think that there's value in both. I think that engineers can't build cars. Maybe there are some that kill it, and maybe I'm way out of line when I say that. But the person who designs the car can't build the car, can't fix the car when it breaks. That's not they don't know how. That's not what they do, but they can, on paper, they can design it, and they can say, well, this is the mathematical spec, but they're not a machinist. They're not going to go down to the machine shop and machine that part. They're not going to go, put an engine in a car. Obviously, there are some that can. But they have the knowledge, but they don't have the skills to apply that knowledge. They can build the model, and then somebody else makes it. I don't think it's really any different when you're acquiring knowledge of whatever it is you're trying to do. For me, right now, playing bass, I have a ton of knowledge that I don't have an application for because I'm not there yet. My fingers aren't there yet. My timing isn't there yet. The songs that I'm playing aren't there yet. I'm not there. I'll get there, and I'm working on getting there, and every day. But I still have this vast, unchecked list of things that I theoretically know, but I can't put into practice. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think the bad thing is, and the thing that I have tried really hard to kind of temper, is me expressing my knowledge of those things. I had this conversation with Malia, I think yesterday, about how do you respond to somebody when they tell you something you already know? They're just trying to be helpful. They're just trying to say, hey, listen, have you tried playing this way? And because this is the third in that scale or whatever, and you know that information already, and it's not applicable to whatever you're trying to do, or maybe it is, but you already know it and you've already done it. How do you respond to that person? Because me in the past would always be like, yeah, I know how to do that. I got that. Or enthusiastically tell them, yeah, I know that because of this, and here's more about that than you know, or maybe I don't, whatever. And these days, I try to just go, thank you, because the person is just trying to be helpful. And, in some cases, maybe it's their ego trying to show you what they know. And that's fine. I don't need to combat their ego with my own stupid ego who's trying to say, oh, don't question me, I know what I'm doing. So having the knowledge is one thing. Applying that knowledge is another thing. And then being humble about that knowledge is a third thing that I'm trying to balance. And I haven't quite got there yet. I'm working on it. I'm trying to figure it out. But it's just a good thought process. Good thing to think about, right? What are things that you're knowledgeable of that you could be better at applying or holding back, not trying to show off with it? I have to put some thought into. I know I doubt this last 9 minutes makes any sense, but it is what it is. I just turn this camera on and talk. That's what we do here. So thank you for watching it. You should like the video. I appreciate it when you do that. And you should subscribe if you haven't. And you should leave me a comment of some kind. You can tell me this is complete nonsense. I don't care. Just say hi. I appreciate you. I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's 1,000 plus little things happy, successful people do differently. We are learning 12 Happy thoughts for troubled times. We are number 9. When your flaws are stitched together with good intentions, your flaws make you beautiful. Never apologize for what makes you. Never let someone else tell you who you are. Accept no one's definition of your life except your own. I don't know how those 2 sentences or 3 sentences work with when your flaws are stitched together with good intentions, your flaws make you beautiful. But I agree with the sentiment that as long as you're messing up trying, you're doing it right.